Don't judge a book by its cover. Sparks ignited brightly. Hi everyone, how are you all doing? Hope you are staying home and safe. If you have seen my last video, अगर नहीं देखा है तो please अभी देख लो, यहाँ पे somewhere I'll put it. So yeah, if you have seen my last video, I suggested some of my favorite movies and shows that you could watch to just kill time in this lockdown. Obviously, अपने घर और ऑफिस के काम करने के बाद. So today's video is for people who wouldn't get time on regular days for reading, finding it hard to settle on one book they'd like to read. Initially, I thought I would add all of my favorite reads from last year, but then I thought, why not just do this monthly thing where I recommend 5 books each month so that it's easier to settle down for a book for a week. Out of 5 books, you can do like 1 book a week. I take up to 3 days at least for a book to finish, only if I like it. This is like Kindle edition or even a paperback book if you own one. Do believe that Amazon has started delivering, but I wouldn't recommend that. But if you want to order yourself a book, you can do that. You can get a paperback book online, but with safety measures. Obviously, make sure when it arrives at your place, you take all the safety precautions. In the book already and you haven't had the time to read that book, it's time you get it out and dust it off and start. So without any further ado, let's get into the video. So the first book is one of my favorite books by far. It's Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. This is an amazing book, I must say. If you love poetries, you are going to love it. I highly suggest this book because the poetries are so deep and in story-like manner. You'll just go with the flow and won't even realize when you got till the end. Rupi Kaur has done a really good job. The way she has poured out all the emotions into poetry is extraordinary. So it's all about the life of a woman from childhood to adulthood, how difficult and upsetting it is, and yet whatever happens, we have to keep silent and live with it. It is a beautiful book about a girl that went through a lot and learned from it and rebuilt herself. I would highly suggest every woman in particular read this amazing lines of poetry. It was so relatable for me and I absolutely loved it. So that was Rupi Kaur, Milk and Honey. I absolutely loved the cover as well. A blackboard and this, like, if you understand what I mean. I thought I might just read the poetry which is there on the back of the book. This is the journey of surviving through poetry. This is the blood, sweat, tears of 21 years. This is my heart in your hands. This is the hurting, the loving, the breaking, the healing. I love the poetry so deep. Yeah, if you happen to get your hands on this, please try and read this. I highly recommend it. So the second book is also by Rupi Kaur. It's The Sun and Her Flower. So in this book, Rupi Kaur brings all the important emotions that we all go through in our lives at some point or the other. This book is divided into 5 phases of emotions that are aptly compared to the sunflowers. The Sun and the Flowers is a vibrant and transcending journey about growth and healing. From deporting to rising to finding home within yourself is all about in this. There is so much positivity and messages about the acceptance of your skin. It's so different, fresh and jaw-dropping. There are poems about exploring self-love, self-hate, jealousy, girls supporting girls, motherhood, pain, insecurity, feminism, freedom, celebration, and so much more. I read it through in a whirlwind and I barely put it down. So poetry fans, if you haven't heard or read these 2 books by Rupi Kaur, then you should definitely get your hands on these. Moving on to my third book, I have been reading a lot of self-help kind of books recently. It's Ikigai or Ikigai. I don't know how do you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering it, but yeah, it's Ikigai by the Japanese Secret to a Long and Happy Life by Hector, Garcia and Albert Liebermann. This book is so excellently written, explains the difficulties I'm pretty sure that we all have faced in our daily life. In today's materialistic and stressful world, it is very challenging to find your ikigai. Basically, finding a reason to wake up every day to do what you love and makes you happy. The book explains how there are people over the age of 100 who are still so passionate about their work and are very active just to do what they love. It has so many teachings concerning how to nurture our friendships, how to overcome our fears and anxieties in order to lead a fulfilling life. To live a happy life, we must not let our past control us and worry about the future. It will destroy. The present is the most significant time, and we have to focus on that. Some people take time to find out what they are passionate about in their lives. It's fine and it will take time. It's not like you're never going to know what you're good at. Eventually, you'll find it and that'll make you happy. Once you find your ikigai, the wait will be worth it. Must read. I recommend this book to everyone. So next up is the book that has been made into a movie on Netflix, and I did recommend this movie onto my last video as well, but I also suggested reading the book first rather than jumping onto the movie. It's All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I remember buying this book in 2018 and finishing it in just one sitting. I liked this book mostly for the quotes and the situation mainly teens go through a lot nowadays. This book is about teen suicide and bullying, but it's also about some wonderful people, happy moments, and a bit of insanity. Theodore Finch is a teenage boy who is very intrigued by death, particularly suicidal incidents that has happened and been recorded in history. He is also suffering from domestic violence and bipolar disorder. All of these made him think about dying every minute he was awake. On the other hand, Violet Markey is a girl who can't still get over her sister's death a year ago and is waiting for graduation and preparing to leave everything in the future. She didn't know how to live her life. Hence, when the two of them were paired up in an easy yet tedious school project, sparks ignited brightly. In a way, both learned to live their life to the fullest whenever they were around each other, but there were a few hiccups in their way. Finch wasn't scared to be himself in front of Violet, and Violet finally stepped out of her comfort shell with him. All the Bright Places takes you to all the good places and all the bad places and everything in between, and the words that take you there are fascinating. On to our fifth and last book, that is Fangirl by Rowell. My favorite types of books are the ones that speaks to you directly to the reader. The books that resonate so strongly with your personality, as though you believe that you're truly discovering things about yourself in the process. The book is much more than the quirky book cover and a fun read. Don't judge a book by its cover. A coming-of-age tale of fan-fiction, family, and first love. So the character in this book is Kat is a Simon Snow fan. Kat and her twin sister Ren were fascinated by a Simon Snow series since they were just kids. The only thing that let them get through the tough time of their mother leaving them. They love reading fan fictions of Simon Snow on various forums. Time flies and it's life at college, where Kat decides to choose to live separately and has no interest in Simon Snow anymore. Kat is all on her own now with a crappy roommate who has a charming boyfriend who is often around in their dorm, a dad who's away from them all alone at home. The question here is, can Kat do it on her own? Can she get through college without holding her sister's hand? Will she ever write her own stories? Will she ever move on from Simon Snow fanfictions? You must read it to find out what happened to her fanfiction and how she did outside the comfort zone of her house. So that's it for this month's reading list. I hope it helped you to decide what to read next, and yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Bye!